Yes, sir.
Okay, so in today's class, I'll start the loop concept, right? So loops, and another name for the loops is called repetition, or there is another name also there that is called iteration. Okay, so loops can be called as a repetition or iteration. Okay, so you can call with any name. So that's the concept of the loops only. Okay, what do you mean by loop? Executing a set of statements repeatedly until a condition becomes a false. So that's the main criteria of these loops. Okay, so how many times you execute your loop means that depends on your condition actually. Okay, so if we take the conditions and all, so the conditions can be formed by using any relational operators. That is, a condition can be formed by using like a greater than b, a less than b, a less than or equals to b. Okay, such kind of conditions you can form, right? And coming to the loops, the primary thing that the categories of the loops is, the loops can be divided into two categories: pre-test, post-test, entry controlled, exit controlled. Did you remember that concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's called a pre-test, or another name for this is entry controlled, or you can call it as a post-test, or you can call it as a exit controlled. Exit controlled, right? So what do you mean by pre-test? First we check the condition. If the condition is true, then only we go into the body of the loop. Okay, if the condition is false, we never execute that set of statements. We don't go into the body of the loop. Okay, so for pre-test you can draw the figure like this. Okay, first you check the condition. If that is true, then only you'll go to the body, okay, or a block of statements. Then again you'll come back to the condition. So this is the condition, right? Question mark. If this is false for the first time itself, your body never executes. So this is called a pre-test. What about post-test? First you execute the statements. Okay, after that at the end you check the condition. If this is true, again you will go there. If this is true. If it is false, you just come out of it, right? And what is the speciality of this post-test loop? It executes the body at least one time, irrespective of the condition. So that means because we just execute the body, then later you check that. So that means the body of the loop can be executed at least one time. But here, if the condition is false for the first time, you never execute that. Okay, only you enter into the body or execute the statements only if your condition is true. So that is called a pre-test and a post-test. Okay, why you call it as a entry and exit control? You are restricting the entering into these statements. So that's why you call it as an entry control, right? So similarly here, you're calling it as exit control. That means you are controlling the exit. That means you entered into the body and then you are controlling whether you want to come out or continue in the loop based on a condition. So I call it as exit control. Is it clear, ma? Entry control and exit control. Cheppandi.
Yes, sir.
I'm expecting a response from you guys. Please speak out. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Okay, what are the loops that comes under pre-test? While and okay, while and for, right?
Yes, sir.
And post-test means
Yes, sir.
do while.
Do while,
while.
sir.
Do while. Okay, do while is a post-test loop. Okay, so we see these things. Okay, what is a while loop? So while loop is a entry control, or you call it as a pretest, and its syntax is you write the keyword while followed by some condition, right? And within the body you will write the n number of statements. Statement 1, 2, statement n, right? So this is a simple syntax for while loop. Okay, so in while loop what we do, we first check the condition. If the condition is true, then only we execute these statements. If the condition is false, we just come out of the loop. Okay, so how you draw the flowchart for this? So like how did we draw for the entry control or pretest? So this is while, and here you write condition, and you put a question mark over there. Then you see the what is the outcome of the condition, whether it is true or false. If that is true, we execute these set of statements, statement 1 to statement n, right? And again you go to the condition. If it is false, you just come out of it. Right now, so this is the flow chart for the while. Okay, you know all these things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is about the while. Okay, so if you ask me to write some program on this, okay, so I'll just write a small program on this. Okay, so I'll write the program and you people have to guess what is the output of this program, right? Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so can anyone guess what is this program is about? What will you get the output and all?
Even numbers.
Printing even numbers from 0 to
Even numbers is 0.
ఏంటన్నా కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పురా.
Numbers from 0 to n.
0 to n.
Even numbers from 0 to n.
So it prints all
Even numbers.
even numbers.
Even
Okay, so
numbers.
this is a small program that will print all even numbers, right? So you take n, for example, if I have given n as a 10, okay, so just look at this. You ask it for a enter n value, I entered a 10 and 10 is given to n, and I declared I as a 0. So 0 less than or equals to 10, true, and go inside. You are checking the condition if I mod 2. I mod 2 means 0 mod 2, which is a 0, equals to 0. Okay, So what do you mean? You just print that I value and I becomes a 1. Okay, so there is I over here which is initially 0. Then it becomes a 1. Okay, and you again go here 1 less than or equals to 10, true. Then 1 mod 2 is 1, right? 1 mod 2 is a 1. So 1 equals to 0, false. You just skip this printing of I value and again we'll go to the incrementing of I becomes 2 and 2 less than or equals to 10, true, and 2 mod 2 is 0, 0 equals to 0, true, you print that I. So what you will get as an output, you will get 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, okay, and 10 also. So what is this program? This program is used to print all even numbers until a specified given range, right? Is that clear?
It's
Okay, so this is a small program. You can write this with the loops runner, right? And similarly, there is a program wherein you have to reverse the given number, right? Is there such program is there or not? Reversing the given number.
yes, sir.
Okay, so you can do something like this, Mike. If I want to write a program wherein my program want to reverse my given number, okay, so what I do is I just declare some number int n, okay, and I'll just take this reverse, okay, and I'll just take sum as 0, okay. And I'll ask for that, okay, so printf enter a number scanf, then take that number into n, so ampersand n, okay, so I'll write this while n greater than 0. So if your number is greater than 0, what I do is simply I do something like this. Sum equals to sum star 10 plus n mod 10. A single line, that's enough. Sum equals to sum star 10 plus n mod 10. Okay, what is this n mod 10, ma? Can anyone guess that? What is that n mod 10?
Last digit of a number.
Unit digit.
Yeah, that's the thing that you want to get the last digit of your number. If I give 123 as my number, so 3 will be the answer, right? Remainder is nothing but the last number. 10 to manam say 120 kada. Remainder is 3. Okay, so that you will get. And n equals to n by 10. That's it. Okay, so you don't need this reverse also, right? Even so, finally you can print that number. Printf reverse equals to percentage d. Some prints అయిపోతుంది, you don't need this reverse also. మామూలుగా అయితే రిమైండర్ అని చెప్పి చేస్తాం కన్నా అది కూడా చేసుకోవట్లేదు, మనం తగ్గించి షార్ట్ కట్ చేస్తాం. Okay, so we'll check this output, right? So there is a n, okay, you asked me to enter a number, I entered something like 786, right? So we'll check that 786 greater than 0, okay, we are checking this, true or false?
True, sir.
True. So you just go inside, okay, sum equals to, sum is 0 initially, right? Sum is 0, we have taken 0 into 10 plus n is 786 mod 10. Okay, what is 786 mod 10, ma? What is the remainder? This will be 0 plus, what about the remainder? 786 mod 10.
6, sir.
Obviously
Six.
6. Okay, so 6 goes to the sum. So if there is a variable called sum here, so initially sum was 0, now the sum is 6, right? And you are doing the 10 equals to 786 by 10. 786 by 10, what is the value?
78, sir.
78.
78, only coefficient, right? It divides it 78 times, right? We don't take the remainder because this is a slash. You take only the coefficient value. So this again goes to the n. So n 786 becomes a 78 now, right? So and you will again come back to the while loop because the condition not at false. So again you check that 78 greater than 0. True or false?
True, sir.
True, sir.
True, obviously. Then what you do? Sum equals to sum. What is the sum now? 6. 6 star 10 plus 78 mod 10. What is 78 mod 10, ma?
8, sir.
8. The remainder is 8. 10 divides 78 7 times and the remainder is 8. So 8. So 6 into 10. చెప్పండి త్వరగా 6 into 10
60.
ఓహో ఇంత టైం తీసుకున్నారా 60 కోసం ఏంటన్న జీవితం ఫాస్ట్ గా చెప్పండి సో 60 ప్లస్ 8 ఎంత వస్తుంది నాన్న 68 right
68.
so this sum will be 6 is override with 68 right and again n equals to 78 by 10. What is the answer?
7.
7, obviously 7. So number now 78 become a 7 now. And again we'll come back to the condition. Okay, well now what is that? 7 greater than 0.
Yes, sir. True.
So true, obviously. And what is now? The sum is actually 68. So 68 into 10 plus 7 mod 10. What is 7 mod 10, ma?
7.
7, sir.
So 7 is the answer. 68 into 10, 680 plus 7, 687, right? So sum is 687. And your number 7 by 10. 7 by 10. How many times it divides?
0.
0 times, right? Division అన్న ఓన్లీ కోఎఫిషియంట్ కదా వచ్చేది డివిజన్ కి మాట్లాడండి
Yes, sir.
సో నంబర్ బికమ్స్ 0 ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళండి అన్న 0 గ్రేటర్ దాన్ 0 ట్రూ ఆర్ ఫాల్స్
Sir.
False.
ఫాల్స్ అన్న ఫాల్స్ అయితే బయటకు వస్తున్నాను నేను సో స్క్రీన్ మీద ఏమొస్తుంది నాన్న రివర్స్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు సమ్ వాల్యూని ప్రింట్ చేస్తున్నాం వాట్ ఈస్ సమ్ 687 is that is the reverse of your given number or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reverse of the given number, right? So this is another important question wherein we will ask you to find reverse of the given number. Is that easy or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, so if you are something like అంటే నేను కొంచెం ఎలాబరేటెడ్ గా రాస్తాను షార్ట్ కట్ లాగా రాయను నేను అని కనుక అనుకున్నారు అనుకోండి నేను ఏం చేయొచ్చు దీన్ని విడగొట్టుకోవచ్చు నేను ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ ని విడగొట్టి ఏం రాయొచ్చు నేను రిమైండర్ అని ఒకటి తీసుకుని REM రిమైండర్ n mod 10 right then you can write sum equals to sum star 10 plus remainder right. So whatever the statement that we have written, we just make it as a separate statement and assign it to REM, and we are just adding that to REM. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is a reverse of the number by using a while loop. Okay? Okay, what do you mean by this while loop is actually, okay? Most of the times while loop, how this will be like this is, Okay, I'm just writing some kind of a while loop. Just look at this. I am writing that while ch equals to while. I'm executing something. Okay, can anyone guess how many times this loop will get executed?
Infinity times, sir. Infinity.
Okay, infinity time is it never become false? Infinity
If we give the
means that- what's
character
the
other than while,
infinity? Infinity means that never becomes a false. Is it that never becomes a false?
With the ASCII code of
Sir.
8
Once we give character as y, sir, not it infinity times repeated, sir.
Okay,
Once
it's like if you give a capital Y, it is false. If you give any letter other than Y, between the letters A to Z or some digits or something, except Y, whatever you give, this is a false only. So this is not an infinite number, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not an infinite for loop. But what is this is, you can't say that this loop will run this many number of times, because as long as I give this small y, so that is keep on true, right? So whenever I want to stop the execution, I will enter a letter which is not y, right?
Yes, sir.
So ఏంటి ఇది అంటే నేను వచ్చేసి it's based on the conditional, not on the value. వింటున్నారా?
Yes, sir.
Basically what happens is, you know, in for loop, most of the times what we do in for loop, actually for I equals to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus, that's how you write a for loop, right? Okay, so just by looking at this for loop, you can say that this for loop runs for 100 times, isn't it? How many times this for loop will get executed?
100 times.
I wrote this for loop as I equals to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus. How many times my for loop will get executed?
100 times.
100 times, obviously. Just by looking at this 100 and this initially 0, I can say this loop will get executed for 100 times. Okay, if I say that instead of I plus plus, if I write I equals to I plus 2, if I write I equals to I plus 2, how many times this will get executed?
50 times, sir.
50 times.
50
right?
times. 50 times.
Yeah, 50 times, obviously, because every time incrementing I value by 2 means that will execute for 50 times. So these kind of loops, they are actually based on some counter value. You call them as counter controlled loops. So this is a new term actually. We discussed this in Python actually, maybe you people forgot it. This loop is called counter controlled loop. What do you mean by counter controlled loop? You're just counting how many times that is getting executed. So if I write I equals to 0, I less than 100, I can say that 100 times the loop will get executed. So there is no doubt in that. If I write I equals to 0, I less than 100, but I is incremented by 2 every time, I can say that my loop will get executed 50 times surely, right?
Yes, sir.
So these kind of loops are actually known as the counter controlled. Counter means you keep on counting the I value, right? You started I with 0, again that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4 until 100. So you're just guessing that number, how many times that it executes based on the count value of the I. But look at this while, you are not maintaining any counter. Are we maintaining any I value or any other value, n value or something? Are we maintaining any count value in this while?
No, sir.
No, obviously. There is no. Can you guess how many times that it executes? We don't know. Okay, if the user keep on giving that small y, it keep on y, small y, so it keep on getting true and it executes number of times until you give which is other than small y, then that is stopped. Okay, you can't guess or you can't say this loop executes this many number of times, right?
Yes, sir.
So we call this as, we named it as condition controlled loop. So who is controlling this total execution of the loop? This condition, right ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did you understand with this? I just talked about condition control, counter control. What is the point that you observe? Are the difference between counter control, condition control? Anyone can you tell me a single point about what is the difference between these two things?
For loop is counter controller, while loop is condition controller.
Very good. And what do you mean by counter control? What do you mean by condition control?
We don't know how many times condition control loop will execute, but
Very
in
good.
counter controller loop, in counter
That's absolutely
controller
right.
loop,
Okay,
we
so
know
we
how
can.
many times.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Okay, just by looking at that loop, we can say these many number of times this loop will get repeated. That will be the counter control because we are maintaining a count of some variable value. And here this condition control, we never know how many times that it get executed. So this keep on true until the condition is true. And whenever you give a value other than the y, that becomes false, then you just come out. So this is purely based on the condition, right? So this is a while, okay? And coming to this for loop, okay, you already know this for loop also, right? What do you mean by for loop, ma? So in for loop actually, how many parts will be there inside the for loop? There is a
3 parts.
expression 1, expression 2, and there will be expression 3,
Updation.
right? And you will have some n number of statements in the body. So statement 1 to statement n, right now? Okay, so this is the syntax for the for loop, right? What is this expression 1? This is called initialization, right?
Initialization.
What is expression 2? Test condition.
Condition.
So condition means a greater than b, a less than b, I less than 100, I less than 10, something like that. What is expression 3? This is called updation.
Update.
Why I just call it as updation? I didn't call it as increment because you can increment I value or you can decrement the I value, right? Pandit Chivita maatladadama.
Yes.
Okay, so I just call this updation because you can increment as well as you can decrement, right? So this is a for loop, right? And if you ask me to write that, print that even values, okay, even values with for loop, okay, so you can write a small program like this, right? So hash include stdio.h int main. Okay, I'll declare some I, int I, then I say I equals to 0, I less than. Okay, so if you want how many even numbers, something like you can declare some n value for that. If I want to write the same program as the previous one that we have written with while loop, so then you can ask for printer, enter n. Are you following? Are you following or not?
Yes, sir.
For I equals to
Yes,
0, y less than n, I plus plus. Okay. So if I want to write the same program as that while loop, I can write if I mod 2 equals to 0. What I say? Print percentage the one space, so that numbers will be separated by space. Right? That's it. Because I plus plus you are doing here. Right, ma? Return 0 close. Is that easy or not? Is this the same as the previous one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I don't want to use this also, right? For example, I just remove all these things. I can say that printf percentage d, right? Then I, and what I can do here, I equals to I plus 2. So no need to check that mod 2 is equals to 0 or not, right? So we started with 0, 0 is printed, so 0 is added to 2, so again you will come back and 2 is printed, and 2 plus 2 4, 4 is printed, 6 printed, 8 printed, and if I want to equals to 10 also I need this equals to, then I can say that, right? So no need to check that I mod 2 double equals to 0 also. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's how you can do this, right? And I said that I can write increment or decrement, okay, in for loop. So in that, what I can do, for example, if someone asks me to print the numbers in reverse order, okay, I can take that I as a n, I greater than 0. Even if you want to 0, I'll write greater than or equals to 0, I minus minus, and I just print I value, right? So what is output of this program, Nana? Can you guess?
Numbers in reverse order, sir.
Okay, so initially n is if I have given n as 10, okay, and I is given the n value, so I becomes 10, 10 greater than or equals to 0 true, so you are just printing 10 on the screen, and you are going here, you are making I minus minus, so I becomes 9, and you will come here 9 greater than or equals to 0 true, and again you just print 9 on the screen, and this will be keep on like this. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, right? So when the 0 becomes minus 1, you just stop printing the values. So you can see that you just printed the numbers in a reverse order from 10 to 0, right? Nana? మాట్లాడండి.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then what is the flowchart for this for loop? If I want to draw flowchart, what I use, what is the shape that you use for loop? ఏం షేప్ వాడతాం నేను అందరిలా కాకుండా మీకు వెరైటీగా చెప్పాను నేను. ఏంటి ఎవరు మాట్లాడట్లేదు ఏమా? ఏం షేప్ వాడతాం నాన్న? ఇది చెప్పామా లేదా మీకు?
Yes, sir.
What is this shape? Outline?
Hexagon, sir.
Yeah.
Hexagon, sir.
నాన్న నోట్స్ తీయట్లేదా మీరు? ఇప్పుడు దీనికే గీమన్నారు అనుకోండి నాన్న. I say that I equals to 10. I say that I greater than or equals to 0. And if it is true, okay, what I say, I just draw something like this. A rectangle with a printer, percentage d, I value. Okay, and after this I'll go here, and here I say I minus minus, and this is false, I just go down. Right? This is how you can draw the flowchart for this particular for loop. Okay, if you want to draw a shape for this for loop, you can draw like this. What is this? This is the initialization, this is the test condition, and this is the updation. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's easy then, okay? So if someone is asking you to write something like how a for loop is getting executed or something, if someone is asking you to in the during the lab exam or something like that, so how do you explain this? How this for loop get executed, ma? I have given some figure in your notes, right? Anyone just remember that? First you come to the initialization, next you come to the test condition. If it is true, you come to the body. After executing body, you go to the updation. This is number 4. And after that, you will again come back to the test condition. If this is true, you will keep on execute like this. This is a cycle. If this test condition is false, you just come out of it. So, if the condition is false. Right, Nala? Did you remember this figure that we actually draw in the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay? So this is how these steps are get executed. Okay, what are the steps are out of all these steps, which steps is executed only once? Out of these 6 steps, which step performed only once?
Initialization, sir.
Initialization, right? The first step is the one which is getting executed only one time, right? And remaining all counter number of times, right? And the last one is also only one time, number 6. So when the condition becomes false, you just come out. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is about the pre-test loops, ma. That is a while and a for. Okay, so come back to the another category. What is that? What is another type of a loop? Cheppandi.
Post test loops, do while.
Okay, that's a post-test loop. Okay, you can call it as a do-while, right? So do-while, how it looks like? You use a keyword called do followed by braces, and you will write some statements here. Statement 1, 2, statement n, right? And at the end you just write the while, then you write the condition, then you put a semicolon, right? So you can guess it. Okay, if I ask a question, when do you put this semicolon after while? When do you write the semicolon after while?
In post
do
test
while
conditions.
In do while, obviously. In do while loop. In do while loop, while is followed by a semicolon. Can you write a semicolon in while loop?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, obviously. But in do while, you have to close the while with a semicolon. Please remember that there is a semicolon at the end, right? Okay, so I'm writing a small program like this, hash include. Okay, can anyone guess the output of this program? కనిపిస్తుందా program? Is it visible? Complete program?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's the values
What
of
is the output?
One to n numbers print out చేసి
It prints the numbers from 0 to
n, sir.
n
0
value.
to n,
0 to
sir.
n. N.
0 to n value. If I write I equals to I plus 2, what is the output?
Even numbers will be.
Even numbers up
Even
to
numbers
until n, sir.
If I take I as 1, what will be the output?
Odd numbers
up
will
to
be
n,
printed.
sir.
All odd numbers until n you can see on the screen. Right, ma? Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can write this all these things, ma, right? So this is a post test, and whatever we see that while and for all are pre-test loops. Okay. So if someone asks you to draw a flow chart for this, can you draw the flow chart for this? If someone asks you about, okay, can you draw the flow chart for the entire program, not only for the do, for the entire program, how can you draw the flow chart, ma? What is the first thing that you draw?
Start, sir.
Start, you draw oval shape and put a start, right? Then,
Read the values.
okay, you can say that you can declare the values, right? I equals to 1 and there is a n, and then what you are doing, you are reading the n value, right? So for scanf you can write this parallelogram, okay? So you can write that read n. So for printf and as well as for the scanf, in the by using both the statements, we are just reading the n value. So you can represent that with the parallelogram and you say that read n, right? Then what you are doing, I'm just doing like this. What I am doing, whatever the statements are there in the do, that is print I, then I equals to I plus 2. Then we are coming to the condition, right? So what is this condition now? While I less than or equals to n. This is the condition. And if it is true, we'll again go here, right? If it is true, we'll again go there. If it is false, we'll come to a place called stop. So finally you draw a oval shape and with a stop. So this is a flow chart, right? What is this flow chart now? This flow chart is for the entire program. This is how you can draw flow chart for any program. Even for a big program also you can draw this easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all about the loops, Nana, like pre-test and post-test as well, right? So I think we just finished our time, right? Okay, give me attendance, roll number 1.